Hey, y'all.
Hey, girl. This is real.
I know, very real.
Yeah, like we're actually doing this. Yes. Okay.
I have to be mourning for this episode.
Get it together because we're mourning. We have to mourn. Okay. Woo. Oh, yeah. Get my tissue. I'm mourning. Okay.
My name is Karen Jackson. I am formerly 058.
And I'm Ronnie Fluker, and I'm formerly inmate 424 Chicago. What's up, y'all?
And I'm Tamar 42. Ooh, what is my number?
You forgot, girl.
Oh, bless the Lord. That's a praise.
Great. Hallelujah.
Okay. My number 279-59171. I needed all those digits.
All the digits?
I needed to know them. I worked for them. That was 2 years plus for the digits. I need all of it.
Okay.
Put some respect on my digits.
Okay. Well,
now
you can have it.
Okay, we're mourning. Just so you know, we're gonna talk about transit. So we're going. Well, I wasn't in transit, so I don't know. So I'm gonna ask y'all a lot of questions about what transit conspired of. And I know, I'm gonna throw out some keywords every now and then. So try to compose yourself just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I know there's our keywords that people that from transit, if I say them, they just like jump. Like Oklahoma.
Oh, Lord, let me take off my earrings. I can't even be cute.
Con Air, we gonna discuss those terminologies.
Hold on, I gotta mourn.
Okay.
You
Make sure.
Be glamorous and mourn.
Okay.
Not for this.
Okay.
That's contraband anyway. Come on.
So for people that don't know, let's talk about what is transit. What is that?
So transit is that moment where you have officially been sentenced, and you are on your way to prison.
Oh wow.
You did not get the option, or you couldn't self-surrender. And now you have to get from point A to point B. And that's wherever they designate you. And you don't even know where they designated you yet. I got to tell you the whole story.
So start.
They get you and they pop your cell. It's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Because they travel at night. They don't travel in the morning time. And then they get you to the front to where all the people come in Sally Port. And then they put handcuffs and shackles on you.
Not handcuffs.
But it get real when they put the box over the handcuffs. They don't normal transport, you get arrested, boop, 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 boop. They put a box and a master lock on top of the Fed transport.
Jesus.
And then you get on a van that doesn't have any windows and you're gone. Period. Don't know where you're going. Don't know when you're going to get there until you get there.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a whole secret. Like the whole thing is a secret. Like, hold on. Ooh, I'm about to cry my lashes.
So, you went through transit too?
I did.
Okay. So, first of all, how did you get to even getting... How did your process start? Let's talk about the process.
My process started when I called my husband and I felt something was wrong.
Okay.
And I kept calling, and finally the feds answered. And so he allowed me to speak to my husband momentarily, and he told me I needed to turn myself in.
So you turned yourself in?
And I said, I will be there. So I turned myself in the same day.
Okay.
And from that day, I was never released. Once I went to court, it wasn't, I could come in after I was sentenced. Once I turned myself in, I stayed in prison.
So you didn't get pretrial intervention?
No.
So I got pretrial intervention.
Bless your soul.
So I found out in a newspaper, I'm homeless, I'm living at a shelter. This lady, I've already been to county. Like, the county has held me to the max time. They're like, the feds are going to pick up your charge. We have to release you because you've done the maximum sentence if it was a state charge. Like, I've sat here for like 20 months. So they release me. I have nowhere to go. I end up at the House of Hope of the PD in Florence, South Carolina. I've gotten there. I've become acclimated to their schedule. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, how's my life going to go? The feds may or may not charge me. What can I do with my life? You can't get a job because you have this pending charge. You're not guilty, you're not innocent. And it's kind of this place of limbo, like real limbo, because I'm homeless, but I don't have to be homeless because if the feds let me go to Alabama, I could have somewhere to go, but I don't have anywhere to go because y'all want me to stay here. And this lady, she, I don't know if I can call her name, but she says, Tamar, what's your middle name? First one at the homeless shelter, okay? So what you need to know my information for? I got a little mindset going on. What you need to know who I am for?
Yeah.
But, you know, God had started pinching me a little bit. So I said, Lee, she said, I think they talking about you. So she hands me this newspaper.
Oh.
And the newspaper, like, literally has my indictment. They have indicted me in a special sessions in Columbia, South Carolina, and that I'm facing 30 years in federal prison.
Jesus.
Nobody came warn me. Nobody came, and they knew where I was at. Like, because when you leave from jail, like, they know the address that you're at. I'm working at a hotel doing clothes at this time. These the feds. They know where you at anyway. Okay, let's be clear.
Oh yeah.
They don't need you to
They
register
track you.
your address.
Yes.
They know where you are.
Yeah.
So you knew where I was, but you didn't come find me. You put it in the newspaper. And that's how I found out I was indicted. Like,
wow.
In the newspaper. Whew.
In the newspaper.
In the newspaper. Over breakfast. It was like bacon and indictment.
Oh. Oh.
Together.
Okay. So I have a couple of questions because y'all, this is interesting. You guys are like, wow.
You didn't have a pre-trial?
No.
You didn't have a random drug test?
No.
Oh, bless you. God will spare you too.
Well, I didn't have,
okay, y'all about to enter into you're surrendering yourself, and you just got indicted, so you about to go in.
No, so I'm about to run.
You about to? Oh,
I'm about to run. That's what I'm about to do. Because nobody came and talked to me, and they said 30 years. So what I'm about to do is run. That's what I'm about to do.
Why didn't you run? What made you not run?
So there's a case manager at, well, I think she done got all kind of increases now. But she was the case manager. Her name was Wanda Vereen. And I showed her the piece of paper when I came in. Because at this point, y'all, I'm going to church. Like, church. I've had that moment where it's like, okay, here we go, God. Here we go. I'm going to try this for real. Like, I'm going to try this relationship. I'm not going to try church. I'm going to try you.
Okay.
And and this is after this. Like, I've had that catalyst. I've had that moment. And now you want to indict me? Like, had you indicted me 6 months ago?
I could understand.
I can understand, right.
But I done prayed and sacrificed, and now I'm in church every time it opens. And I'm like, facilitating Bible studies. Like, I'm literally attempting to live this life. And you indicted me in the newspaper, and I was real frustrated about that. But case manager came to work, and I showed her the newspaper, and she told me, God is God even now.
Yes.
Oh, yes, Lord.
She told me, I will walk you, I will hand walk you through this if you just trust God.
Wow.
She is why I didn't run.
Wow.
So I was gonna run.
Okay.
I was gonna run.
Okay. So, you were facing how many years?
30. The number after 29 before 31. The number right in the middle.
How many years were you facing?
26.
26.
26.
We got whole Social Security between us two. Your 26 and my 30, honey. Ooh. And we free now.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Really?
So, of the 30, how many years did they give you?
24 months. Yeah, see, you get ahead of yourself. We ain't got to prison yet.
Okay.
Go there. The judge chose. Like, if I could go meet him, go see him again, he literally, his vernacular was, he said, I know there's something different about you. And if I'm wrong, you'll be back. He said, I choose to sentence you to a period not to extend 24 months in the Bureau of Federal Prison.
Jesus. That's
he made
grace.
a choice.
That's grace.
He made a choice.
Really looking
When
out for
I say,
you.
That's grace.
Because my mandatory minimum was 120. Like, so that means I got to serve all 10 years of this at mandatory minimum. And you chose to sentence me under the guidelines, but that's a whole other episode. Y'all, hold on. Because we're going to all get slain then. I ain't going to have on no lashes for that episode. Whew.
So you were supposed to get 26? And how many years did you get?
I had 97 months. So that's 8 years.
Oh, let's. When you get time, they don't say years.
They don't say years. They just give you the month.
They give you the months.
They're going to teach you math.
They're going to teach you math real quick. Oh, yeah, okay. So you got 96 months.
97.
97 months.
8 years and 1 month.
Wow.
Jesus.
That's still grace.
Yes.
That's still mercy.
I didn't complain.
You did? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh,
Y'all know me. I did big girl things. I paid big girl price. I was okay with whatever he said. I was okay with. Matter of fact, the judge asked me. He's reading the things I've been blessed to do, and he says, "Why are you in front of me?"
Oh.
And I said, "Because I committed a crime and I got caught."
Okay.
That was it. I was remorseful. But
Wow. So you guys get sentenced. So they're telling you that, okay, they don't even, do they tell you where you go? Where you going?
So when I got sentenced, the judge told me, mind you, I'm homeless. This is how much grace is on my life, y'all. I'm gonna start really walking in this. He tells me, he knows I'm homeless. The case manager is there with me. I have all kind of character witnesses. And he says, you have 3 days to get your affairs in order and self-surrender. Now that I look back on that thing, how many affairs I had, I was homeless. I ain't have to get the lights cut off. So, like, I'm homeless. I'm self-surrendering from my homeless shelters. But you gave me 72 hours. I'm going to give you 72 hours to get all of your affairs in order. And in that, when I say God,
Right.
like, because you know, the
Yeah.
case manager just told who I am. You've read my background and my PSR. So you know who I am. You know I don't have anywhere to live. But you give me 72 hours to get my affairs in order. And then he tells me, now be here by 9 o'clock. Because if you come at 9:02, come see me before you go down there. So I was there at 8:58.
What wisdom?
Okay, 8:58. I had taken 2 Benadryl because I already knew. Holding cell is about to be.
Okay.
Like you already know when you get ready. For me, because I had the jail experience and then I was released, and I really believe that was for me to learn God.
Okay.
Because the time that I got in county was almost like my past. Like it was almost like a DHR facility. Eventually, you know how my deal say, you gotta let me go. Like I knew eventually, you gotta let me go. It wasn't that for me. So it took being homeless. It took the homeless shelter experience. It took someone loving me that wasn't attached to me. Like this woman don't know me. You're not my mama. You're not my daddy. But God has orchestrated you to be in my life. To walk me through this. And when I say the epitome of unconditional love, like she literally loved the hell out of me. Because my mind went from suicide to I'm going to take this. My kids don't know me no way. Like how they going to miss me? They in Birmingham. They not going to miss me. So if I take my life, what is this? Like literally, she walked me through the mindset. She walked me through let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus. She walked me through that. And I needed that before I went to prison. Right. So I really believe that's why my story isn't your story. Because they released me with nowhere to go. And you're stealing, you're nowhere to go and you're stealing. So she could go back out and steal, but no God. Oh, okay. So I believe that's why I ended up, my transit experience ended up a little different. Like I needed that homeless moment.
Wow. So, okay, you're on your way to surrender yourself.
yes.
Did you get any advice on the way to surrendering yourself? Like, did your attorney tell you this is what's gonna happen? Did your attorney? He didn't give you any advice.
No.
Wow.
I didn't get my attorney until I was already locked up. I was trying to get to the jail.
Wow.
I was more concerned about my husband, honestly.
Oh.
Because he wasn't aware of what I was doing. But they grabbed him. I was more concerned about his well-being than my own. And when he said, you need to turn yourself in, I went immediately. I did put on a couple extra socks.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, so I went with 3 pair of panties, 3 bras, and 3 pair of socks.
Okay.
That's a whole nother thing, too.
That was God speaking to you prophetically.
Yes. I didn't know to do that. But no, my attorney gave me no information.
So, after you surrendered yourself, how long was it between the time that you surrendered yourself till you were able to talk to your husband? Because he doesn't know.
Well, they kept him, and they didn't keep him but a few days, I think, 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
Which about killed him, but about 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
And as soon as he got home, I was able to speak with him. Now, when I turned myself in, I had cash on me, so they put that on my books.
Okay.
I knew they had him, so I called my daughter
Okay.
and explained to her everything that was going on.
Oh, wow. That had to be a tough conversation.
It was.
Because did your daughter know?
No.
So now you have to have a tough conversation with your husband and your daughter
And my son.
and your son.
Yes.
Wow.
How did you keep your mind through telling them that you were doing something and hiding it from all of them? How was that? How were you able to have that tough conversation?
It was tough. It was tough. And even now, the indictment says a whole bunch. And although I did a lot of what they said I did, but not all of it.
Okay.
But I just was very honest and explained what I had done. I explained that to my husband and my children.
How did they take it better or worse than you thought they would?
They took it better, honestly.
Okay.
My daughter, I think, took it the worst. It was harder on her than anyone.
Okay.
But you know,
Yeah.
Chica, and you know our relationship. She took it,
No.
yes. And my son was already in the Air Force, so
Gosh.
it was a brief conversation. But
Wow.
My question to you. How did you hold that conversation knowing that the phones are monitored? Like, I was able to tell my family when I was out. Like, you may have tapped my phone, but may have not. Like, they give you that dialogue, and you still have to explain yourself over a recorded line.
it was easy because I had already told the truth. Yes, I'm
Okay.
well, you know, when I saw the judge, because I'd seen the judge by now, before I got to talk to my family, I did most of this. Hey, y'all, I did most of it. I didn't do everything they said, but I'm guilty of most of this.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense, because recorded phone calls.
Yeah.
I'm not. I think I've been like that. Anybody that knows me know. Don't ask if you don't know. If
You don't want to know the truth.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm just gonna say what it is, and it was rough though. Definitely, it was rough talking through it. But
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. And since they weren't building the case, you had already given them what they wanted. They weren't really recording the calls.
I didn't know either way. But it wasn't a secret. Okay.
Okay.
So once you surrendered yourself, did you know immediately that you were going to Alderson?
So they actually allowed me to choose where I went to prison.
Oh, you got a choice? This is interesting.
My attorney gave me an option because I wasn't native to South Carolina. I was from Alabama. At that time, they had just had a tornado at Aliceville. So they were like, you can choose to stay in Alabama, go to Alabama, or you can pick a prison so many miles away from where you are. And I picked Alderson because Martha Stewart went.
You figured
not
what?
believe the stories that you
It is
hear.
not Cap Cupcake, okay? It's not Cap Cupcake.
I mean, but I just figured if she
can
can do it
right,
at Alderson,
and she can survive it.
I can be in prison at Alderson.
Okay, yeah.
And
You
that was
had a
like-
fighting chance.
That was my whole motive. Like, he was like, give me options, and that was it. Like, I just wanted to go to Alderson because Martha Stewart went. If I must go, like,
Might as well go.
where which it can't be that hard. Like, these pictures of her raking leaves, and there were no gates or nothing. So, like, let me go where she went. So, they gave me an option. They did not tell me that I got my option until I was on Con Air, though.
Oh.
So, like, you travel by van. I went to Ocilla, Georgia. When I left the county that night at 3 a.m. on the back roads in the dark van, ended up in Ocilla, Georgia. They don't care. When I tell you they don't care about your time, at that point, your time is
It's
their
their time.
So they don't care about your time. So we were in holding cells for almost a day. In a holding cell for almost a day. Lunch sandwiches, roast beef, I think.
Cold cuts.
Orange juice, apples, whatever. So booked in Ocilla, you know that this is not your final destination. Nobody still hasn't told me where my destination is, but they just tell me, the girls, the women in the pod, they tell you, you fed? That's their first question. They're gonna ask you, because either you fed or you ice. You fed? Yeah, I'm fed. Don't buy a lot, because they're gonna come get you at 2 o'clock in the morning. You don't know when you're gonna go, and you can't take nothing with you. Oh. Okay. So that's kind of like,
That's how it goes.
the mantra there is like, when you get from your county and you get in transit, you never know where you're going and you never know when you're done. I left Ocilla and I got to the airport, and it was a big white plane with a backwards American flag, and there was a gun line. First, they park all the vans in a semicircle surrounding the plane. And then a U.S. Marshal stands on both ends of the plane with a gun. Like, y'all ain't seen these guns. Like, this is like, what was his name? Dick Tracy? And like, it's one of them guns, like with a drum, you got bullets on the ground, and like, real talk. And they got at you like, move.
It looks like a Tommy gun.
Like,
wow.
and they not playing with you. Like, don't breathe too hard. They not playing with you. So they let everybody out of the vans, like from the back to the front. You line up. Obviously, you're on a tarmac, so there's wind from the plane. There's fans. I got to prison November 20th of 2015. So it's cold. Okay, it's cold, and we're on this tarmac, and your fans blowing, and it's bullets here, and everybody has to be searched before they get on the plane. You cannot take anything, and when I say nothing, you can take your eyeglasses, your hearing aids, and that is all. Maybe your dentures. I didn't have any, but I'm assuming they let the denture people keep their dentures. But that's it. Like, you can have nothing. No piece of paper, no phone numbers, no email addresses, no contact information. You have nothing. If you have it, they throw it in a bag right there and you load the plane. With shackles. Did I mention the shackles?
Yes, the shackles. The
shackles. So you're walking upstairs with your feet shackled and your ankles are scratching, like every time, because it's like this toothy, gritty type thing, and they don't put a box on that. So every time you move, the shackles scratch your ankles, and you have to walk upstairs. Like my ankles were tore up by the time I got to Alderson. Got on the plane, ended up in Oklahoma at Grady. Not before I did a plane and a bus. With the cages on the bus. Y'all Con Air so real. Like, the movies are depicted from people who have had experiences. Because it's cages on the bus.
Yes.
Like, you get on a school bus, it looks like a bus, but there are cages on it. So you get on this bus, and here you go. They're not taking you to elementary school. You are going to another holding facility. And it is crazy and organized. It's some of the most dilapidated conditions. They don't care if you're cold. Whatever underwear you came in with, you still got them same underwear on, okay? Nothing's changing. So whatever body fluids, whatever your body is doing, whatever discharge, you still in it. So hopefully, you ain't been in transit a long time. Because they don't care. Like, you don't care. They don't care. So I got to Grady. I prayed. I was like, God, I don't want to be stuck in transit over the holidays. Because, now mind you, everybody around you talking. Are you fed? You fed? You fed? Because that's the hot thing. If you're fed or if you're counting, because then they can kind of gauge you and how you're going to be. And they're like, okay, once they know you fed, they know, okay, don't buy nothing. This how you use Western Union. Go ahead and use this. Or I can call one person for you, that kind of thing. And got to Grady, most dilapidated conditions, cold, drafty, you're hungry. And I prayed. I was like, God, listen, I don't want to be in transit over the holidays. Mind you, this November. Because I got to prison November 20th. Ooh, that just passed. But God.
Jesus.
So you went straight from the jail to Grady?
I went from the jail to Ocilla. I stayed in Ocilla for 3 days. I prayed to God for shampoo and conditioner because they had sprayed the light stuff in my hair. And nobody told me the light stuff and a relaxer breaks your hair. So now I've had a fresh relaxer because I'm like, if I'm going to prison, let me get this last perm in because I don't know when I'm going to get my next one. Nobody told me they're going to spray you down. Every place you have hair, they spray light stuff on your body. So now I have this light stuff breaking my hair off. And I've been in transit and I'm like, God, please, if I can get shampoo and conditioner. So my hair don't break off, I'll be okay. Commissary list came out Tuesday. I ordered shampoo and conditioner and I left Thursday.
Wow.
Got to Ocilla and I was like, oh God, I can't be here. It's cold. Everybody looking at me like, because Ocilla is like a big gym. Like they got
fish tank.
Yeah, they got bunk beds everywhere. And I'm like, God, please don't let me be in transit for Thanksgiving. Like, please, please, please. If I can just get a vegetable at this point. Because all you eat is sandwiches. Like, you eat sandwiches for days. And I start adding it. I'm like, 2 pieces of bread in the morning, 4 at lunch, 4 at dinner. That's a loaf of bread in a week, Jesus. I'm going to be huge. Like, this is where I'm at. Like, God, if I can just get a vegetable. So I get to Ocilla, and that night they have spaghetti and salad. And I'm trading my spaghetti for the salad. And the next day I leave. They put me on a plane, they popped the door, and they called my name at 3 o'clock the next morning, and I heard people talking about me. Because I had just got there. People had been there waiting to go for their name to be called. They know that they're going to prison, and they waiting on their name to call. And literally, I walk in, I get what I prayed for, and I leave. I made it to prison the last Thursday before they stopped for the holidays. Because, you know, they don't do transit
during the holidays.
So wherever you are in the middle of Thanksgiving and Christmas, you're probably going to be there to New Year's. I was on the last plane before they stopped doing transit for the holidays. I got to prison November 20th, 2015. And literally, like, people, I guess from my heart, like, people could have told me things that would have made it better, but the attorney really can't prep you. The attorney can't tell you wear 3 pairs of socks, but in order for the shackles to fit, only one of them can be long. Make the other one short socks, so then you can wash out your long socks. Just make sure your ankle protected. He couldn't tell me wear 2 sports bras because they're not going to give you another one. Wear 3 pair of panties. Like, he couldn't tell me those things. He couldn't tell me like your money can go to the federal lockbox and you don't have to wait on it to get there.
Right.
Like, he couldn't tell me those things. Those were things that you had to have the experience. Because if not, then hey, you out there. So transit for me was like the establishment of my faith, I guess. Maybe not the establishment, it grew my faith. Because my faith was established, me and my biological mom. So it grew my faith. Because everything I asked God for, he gave it to me. And then I left. And I was literally on the last plane for the holidays.
Wow.
Last plane. So when I got to Alderson, I had like a... Prison for me wasn't punishment. It was preparation. I didn't know who I was, but I knew God was keeping me. Because I was reckless. Like, reckless. Reckless. If you do the math, like, they say 1 out of every 5 people have an STD that they can't cure. And when I started writing my list, I was like, ooh, these odds, though. But then, you know, like, I'm negative.
Right.
But God,
good.
my God works against statistics. So I'm like, okay, God, you've kept me from this. I put myself in that, and you kept me when I was the weapon formed against me that caused me not to prosper. So it's a reason I'm here.
Okay.
And not only that, I got what I asked for. And you gave me all this one. I met you.
Yes.
Praying.
Yes.
Because my seek was stupid.
Yes.
I'm going to go and I'm going to go to chapel and I'm going to put headphones on and I'm going to pray and I'm going to pray and cry over this list until you tell me why I'm still here. Because my plan was to take myself out. Suicide was my plan. Like, there was no other plan to be 36 today. Absolutely not. To say that I'm 36 today is a blessing. I had no plan for my life past 30. 30 was a blessing. If I got there. Like, people are like, oh, for 40, for 50, I'm like, hey, give me that shot. Like, I'm not planning for that. So my mindset when I got to Alderson was, tell me why you killed me. You owe me that answer. Tell me why you killed me.
Wow.
And that's why I'm who I am today. So transit didn't make my faith, but it solidified.
Yeah. So I know you went to 3 counties?
3. Osceola, Grady, and then I was in Effingham. So Effingham was my sentencing jurisdiction.
Okay.
So wherever you're sentenced at, when the U.S. Marshals come get you, they take you to your sentencing jurisdiction. Mm-hmm. And then after your sentencing jurisdiction, then once they pop you're in transit once they move you from sentencing.
Okay.
So once they move me from Effingham County, so I guess you can count Effingham if you want to count the sentencing jurisdiction.
Okay.
So that would make Effingham, Osceola, Grady, and then Alderson.
So how many counties did you go to?
8.
8 of them.
8 of them? How did you survive 8 counties? Can you tell? Okay, so how do you go through 8 counties? I mean, why did you do 8 counties and she did 3? Can you elaborate?
I don't know why.
Okay.
I still, to this day, I don't know why.
Okay.
But I turned myself into Salisbury. Then I stayed there for a while, and then they sent me to Charlotte. And I was in Charlotte for about 17 months. And then that's when I started bouncing after that. I went through 6, 7 more. So it was actually a total of 9 before I got to Alderson.
Let me give you just a little conflict, just a little. I found out after I was released, after the tail end of this, that everybody can't keep federal inmates. They have to have a contract to hold federal inmates.
I know that now, and that's the strange part. I went to a county, Orange County, and they had 6 cells. Feds take precedent over state. So when I got there, all the cells were full, and they kicked a state inmate out of her cell and put me in that cell.
What's feds pay more?
Feds aren't supposed to sleep on the floor. There were 21 of us in there with 6 beds. So you had all these people on the floor with a gap this big at the bottom of the door, and it's cold, and these lizards are coming through the door. It was just a mess. And then the unfortunate side, there was a young lady there, and we know she's a lady, she's in there with us, but she was hermaphrodite, meaning she was male and female. And she was I felt bad for her, so I gave her my cell, because they had took her cell and put me in it, because at that time she was state. So I gave her back the cell, and I slept on the floor.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. And yes, she needed that. And I was okay with that.
Okay.
And for some reason, every place I stopped, it was the same as with Alderson. They ended up putting someone with me that was suicidal or had mental problems, or it was always somebody that I ended up having to take care of. Every single place I went.
So instead of taking care of yourself, the Lord allowed you to take care of others.
If that's how you want to look at it, I guess.
You know, tomato.
At some point, it became a coping mechanism. I can take care of everybody else, and I can forget about me. I can forget about what I'm going through. I can take care of you. I can take care of you. I can listen to you. I can help you. And never once did I think about me. Where am I? What am I going to do? I was too busy trying to make sure everybody else was good. And that put me on the back burner. But that made it a little easier to do. It's a coping mechanism.
Wow. So did you have to go through Oklahoma?
Yes.
That's why my mouth keep getting dry, honey. Because the water wasn't good there. It was brown.
Nothing was good there. Yes, I went to Grady, Shady Grady. Yes, where the guards would sneak and look at the women while they were taking showers.
Did they have to sneak? That was kind of obvious.
Oh.
It was,
Kind of obvious.
it was,
So how long did it take you to get to Grady, and how long were you at Grady?
I don't even remember. I
Wow.
cannot tell a lie. I went to so many places. I just, it's all just a big blur. The time is just crazy. I do know I did, I want to say 2 years, a year and a half to 2 years, all the bouncing around before I got
To
to Alderson.
Oh wow.
So you were in transit a long time.
Yes.
Because literally, I self-surrendered. I was saying this October 20th, 2015. I self-surrendered October 23rd, 2015. I stayed in my sentencing jurisdiction for maybe 2.5, maybe 3 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Because I was in prison November 20th. Like, I walked on Alderson November 20th. I was in transit like 2 weeks.
No, I was in transit for.
That, you know what, like that proves that God is a keeper to a whole different degree. Because like jail is a cesspool of spirits, like literally. Like I remember being at Effingham watching a girl kill herself, and I told y'all about this. Like she had a 7-day simple possession charge. They had her in a red cell on the wall, and they clicked her out to take a shower. And all you hear is the guard saying, "Go back to your cells," because she's running up the stairs where visitation is, and she stands up with her back facing, climbs on the rail, stands up with her back facing the rail, holds out her arms, and throws her whole body down. Her body hits the pavement, bounces back up. All you see is blood. And like shortly thereafter, you know, there's the sheet, and everybody got to write statements of what they saw or whatever. But it was like 7 days. God created the whole world in 7 days.
7 days.
Matter of fact, 6. He took a break on something. In 7 days, and I'm sitting here looking at that time, I didn't know because I was being held in county. But like 7 days, the mindset, the desperation, the in transit, like, and you dealing with foreign stuff that's not even new to you. Like, you don't even know.
Right.
Like, because I remember being in Osceola, and I'm not even understanding the rules of ICE. There was a lady that was on the bunk next to me that was sex trafficking. And proud of it. And I'm like, you sex trafficking? And you proud of this? Okay. I didn't even know what that consisted of at that moment. Because, you know,
you learn a lot.
You learn a lot. And not just that, you're exposed to a lot.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Transit is a time where if you don't know how to pray, you don't make it out. Because you'll pick something up along your way that's so different from what you've done. I've seen people get out since I've been out that were introduced to other crimes in transit or incarcerated and came out and reoffended and went back in. And I'm like, baby, if you had just prayed, you had to guard yourself. Because people still glorify stuff.
Yes.
People teach you how to do something different. And then if you don't tackle the spirit that got you in that place, if you don't identify it, tackle it, and really deal with it, because you got to deal with you. Mm-hmm. We all introduce ourselves by inmate numbers, which is a whole nother story. But everything is taken from you when you get to prison. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody knew my name was Tamara unless I told you. Right. Because on the call out, I'm Taylor 171.
Right.
You don't know my first name. You don't know where I'm from. Well, if you know 171 is Alabama, you know where I'm from. But, South Carolina, you know where I'm from. Other than that, like, you know nothing about me. It's a place where you can really, really, really focus on yourself. Identify, like, God, where did I slip up? What did I do? Where did I leave you at? Because you didn't leave me. So where did I leave you at? What is your plan for my life? Because obviously you have one. And where do I go from here? Transit for me was so much exposure. Like, I saw things that I was just like, I thought I had seen it all. Because when you go through DHR custody and you have to live the life I lived, you've exposed yourself to enough. You're like, oh, but this new. Let me see this. But because God was there with me in transit, because I invited him in, because I didn't attempt to do it by myself, like, it was a whole different experience. But transit in itself, I recommend God to go with you.
Oh, yeah.
I recommend God
That is the best recommendation you can give.
to go with you.
So, in closing, I'm gonna ask y'all the same question. I'm gonna start with you, Karen, first, and then I'm gonna go to you tomorrow.
Okay. I get to practice on the kid for me first.
If you could say anything to somebody that's about to go through what you just been through, what would you tell them? What would you tell the Karen that's about to face 96 months?
97 months.
97, sorry.
Girl, put them extra 30 days on her because she ain't going to live without them.
I'm not going to let you.
Yes.
You going to take this
So
respect on
I
them
need you to
numbers.
talk to that
Some
person
respect on
right
them
there
numbers.
and tell them,
Oh. Call on God. Call on the name of Jesus. And keep calling until you feel His presence and take Him with you. That was the best thing I could have done. I took God with me, and my steps were ordered while I was there. It wasn't by accident that I had to take care of a lot of people. You look up my name, Karen, it means caring.
wow.
It's something of a nurse by trade. It helped me. But God put me in the right places at the right time. He allowed me to hear His voice, to know what to do, what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. I have never seen, ever, an inmate leave and the guards cry. That was nothing but God. So, find God. Get the relationship. I don't claim a religion, but I do claim a relationship with my Father.
So tomorrow, Taylor, if you could say anything to somebody who's about to experience what you experienced, I mean, like you said, you were at a point where you were almost about to commit suicide. You seen someone commit suicide. You went through certain things, and as you were going through it, the Lord built your faith. If you could say anything to somebody that's about to experience what you experienced, what would you say to that person?
I think I'm going to steal from Ronnie right now. Ronnie said something to me when we were incarcerated that still resonates with me today. Pray for people that are friends of God. She was like, I don't trust the friends that I choose. So God, send me your friends. The power of exposure, first, if a person is a friend of God, they got the relationship above all relationships.
Yes.
So if God is going to introduce you to a person and say, yo, that's my friend, now you got a friend. You got somebody that can walk you, introduce you, expose you, keep you, pray for you, cover you. So I would tell you to pray what Ronnie prayed. Pray for, God, let me borrow some of your friends because I'm not good at picking them. Because the power of friendship, the power of unity, the power of, first, they're a friend of God. Did I say that? They're a friend of God. So that means they know Him, He know them, so they can get a prayer through. They can cover you. They can introduce you. They can study with you. They can get you to the place where you're strong enough to take this walk by yourself. So I would say, pray the Ronnie prayer. Pray, God, let me borrow some of your friends. Because I'm not good at choosing them. I chose some. They haven't been the right ones. Because literally, out of that prayer has birthed connections that have been lifelong. Yes. Out of that prayer, I have been iron sharpens iron. Proverbs 27:17. Yes. I have bounced many Bible studies off of you. Yes. Many visions, many prayers, many just ideas that I've had off of the fact that God was like, okay, she my friend and you my friend. Let me introduce y'all and y'all be friends. And hey, that's how this came together. So I would definitely tell you to pray that prayer. Because even if you're not strong enough, even if you don't know God enough, even if you don't feel like you're strong enough to stand, if God recommends His friend to you, you all in purpose. You can't help but get there. If you got one of his friends walking with you, you can't help but be great. So that's what I would recommend. The run and pray.
Oh, it's okay.
Tag that.
Hashtag running.
Okay, so now that I've listened to you guys, and I might be about to experience some of the things you guys experience. How do I form a relationship with Christ? What do I need to? I want to try what y'all try. I want to see if he real.
This was my expertise. I love making introductions.
Yes. Can you introduce us?
John 10 says to believe in your heart and confess with your mouth, and then you're saved. It is not the traditional be thou and thus. Okay, that's not how my relationship started. Can't speak for anyone else, but it was the believe in your heart and confess with your mouth. That's what the Bible says. It's not. You will get to realize your own convictions. You will get your own accountability as you study him, learn him, meet him. But first, you have to believe. You have to believe that Jesus died. On the third day, he was rose again. And his whole purpose for dying was for you to be able to come boldly before the throne of grace. Be able to approach his Father and say exactly what you need. We don't live in the Levitical priesthood. You don't need a bail, a sacrifice, or anyone to make accounts for you. You apologize. Repent. Father, I repent everything I did of commission, omission, knowing and unknowing. Father, I believe that you sent your son to die in advance for my sins before I did them. And on the third day, he rose again. You say, believe, confess. That's it. The introduction has been made. Then you study. Find you a friend that's a friend of God. Find you a church home that believes in teaching Bible principle. Because Bible principle will develop your own conviction.
Yes.
Bible principle will convict your own relationship. Because you're unique. You're special. It's something about you that you bring to the world that nobody else can bring. And you will find that person. You'll find your tribe. You'll find the people that click with you. And God will slowly but surely move you into purpose where you get to find out why you're on the earth. Even prison, even with PSRs, pre-sentencing reports, or what they say, don't even matter when you get into what he says. But you can only find that out in relationship, in studying, and getting to know him for yourself.
Wow.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. It's done.
It's
you
done.
saved. If you want, we can do a repeat. Fill in the blank. Because it's so simple. Church, we try to make it hard. No, they try to make it hard.
Right.
They try to make it really hard, and they make it seem like you got to go and call 18 million times, and whatever you know, it don't take that.
Mm-hmm.
John 10 says, believe in your heart, confess with your mouth. 2 steps, not 20. And then you're saved.
Yes.
You are now introduced. You are now a part. You are now an heir. You are now a son. You are now a daughter. And now you get to study and learn your rights, responsibilities, and privileges.
Yes.
You get to that place by believing and confessing.
Yes.
So,
That's it.
that's it.
We the evidence of believing
What
and
I say?
confessing.
Come on, evidence. Come on.
This is the evidence.
Oh, believe and confess.
How many months?
97.
96.
24. God knew I couldn't count further than 2. He knew what
And do we look like we've been in prison?
I don't look like what I think.
At all.
At all.
At all.
It's only God's grace.
But
This is a testimony to God's grace.
That's it.
So I challenge you to believe him. I challenge you to go and find him for yourself.
Try.
Try him. That's all. Just try
No
it.
harm done.
Right.
Like trying. Like
try
truth or
it.
dare. Try them and
That's it.
see.
Right.
I dare you to try. Like if you
Yeah.
try them and it don't work, I don't even got nothing to say because it's gonna work.
It's gonna work. Yeah.
It will work.
It will work.
And if it worked for somebody with a past like me,
Listen,
or me.
Jesus,
Jesus.
it'll work for anybody. Just call on him. Just trying.
Just trying.
Just trying.
Okay.
Until next time.